Alright, so for the first question it says find the exact volume of a cylinder that has a radius of 5 and a height of 7. So the volume of a cylinder is radius squared pi times height. In this one our radius is 5 and our height is 7. So for the volume is 5 squared times pi times 7. 5 squared is 25. We still have pi, and now we have 7. So we're going to need to multiply 25 times 7, and we get 175. Because it says exact, that means you leave pi in the answer, and it is units cubed. The volume of a cone. So the volume of a cone is 1/3 the volume of a cylinder. This one, we have a radius and height. The height is 9, but it tells us that our diameter is 6. Remember that diameter is always double the radius. So we're going to divide 6 by 2 to get 3. So our volume is 1/3 times 3 squared times pi times 9. So our volume is 1/3 of 9 times pi times 9. So we're going to do 9 times 9, which is 81, times pi, and we're going to use the pi button on our calculators, divided by 3. And it says to round to the nearest hundredth. So if you were to do this, you would have found that it was 84.82300, and it kept going. Well, hundredths, so tenths, hundredths. So does this 3 make the 2 go bigger? It does not, so it stays 84.82 inches cubed. Next one is a sphere. A sphere, remember that the volume is 4/3 radius cubed times pi, and our radius is half of 14, so it's 7. So our volume is going to be 4/3 times 7 cubed times pi. Well, 7 cubed is 343 times 4 divided by 3 times pi, and you end up with 1436.75, and it keeps going. This one says to the nearest whole number. So to the nearest whole number means it's 7. We'll round that up. So 1437 centimeters cubed. Some of you have learned to do this one with the other volume formula, where the volume is 2/3 of the cylinder. And in this case, the radius is 7 and the height is the diameter, so it's 14. You would end up with the same exact thing. I'm going to do this over here. So it'll be 2/3 times 7 squared times pi times 14. And you would still end up with the same answer, which is 1437 centimeters cubed. And number 4, the volume of a sphere. So same thing, but this one's a little bit easier to do if you use the first volume formula, where 4/3 radius cubed times pi, and our radius is 6.3 times 10 to the 4th power. So 4/3 times 6.3 times 10 to the 4th power cubed times pi. 6.3 cubed is the first thing we will do. 6.3 cubed is 250.047. And then when you do power of a power, you multiply those exponents, so it becomes 10 to the 12th power. I have 4/3 and I have pi. Remember, you're going to multiply all of the numbers together. So 250.047 times pi times 4 divided by 3. And we end up with 1047, and I'm going to round to 2 decimal places. So 0.39. And it's still times 10 to the 12th power. This is not proper scientific notation. We're going to need to move the exponent, or the decimal, 3 places. So it becomes 1.04739 times 10 to the 15th power, and this is units cubed. And our last question, there are two containers of popcorn. We have a cone and we have a cylinder. So the cone has a diameter of 10, so a radius of 5, and a height of 12. And the cylinder has a radius of 5 and a height of 9. So the cone is 1/3 of the radius squared times pi times height. And our cylinder is our radius squared times pi times our height. So first thing you're going to do is 1/3 times 25 times pi times 12. Well, 25 times 12, 25 times 12 is 300 times pi divided by 3, and we end up with 3, it says exact answer. So I'm going to erase that. So we're just going to do 25 times 12 divided by 3, and we end up with 100. I didn't pay attention. Exact answer. So 100 pi inches cubed. And for cylinder, it's going to be 25 pi times 9. So 25 times 9 is 225 pi inches cubed. So obviously you would want the cylinder because you get more popcorn.